What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and I'm back here to give you more information about the very exciting Mammoth Strength Challenge 5 Pro-Am coming on January 23rd, 2021. Ciao, homie! Welcome to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring attention to the world of strongman and show you how you can mimic those activities using everyday objects all around your own property. If you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing and remember to hit that bell button for all notifications so you'll know whenever I provide all the valuable content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So without further ado, on to today's topic. So what are we going to discuss today about the Mammoth Strength Challenge 5 Pro-Am? Well, it's going to be an in-depth breakdown of all the events, the video you've been all waiting for. But first and foremost, I need to remind you that you must subscribe to Garage Gym Life Media. Here it is right here on my screen. And that it will be the only way that you can see the live stream of this incredible contest on January 23rd. Come here, subscribe to Garage Gym Life Media. They're also on Instagram, follow them there, and then that'll give you access to be able to click the link that I've shown in my previous intro video to this contest, where you can set your reminder for the particular event, and I'll actually show you that again today. So here it is, get the live stream link here. You click here on that and you'll see the logo for the contest, and you subscribe to their channel. Again, Garage Gym Life Media, subscribe to their channel. And of course, subscribe to mine too, because I'm going to give you the great in-depth analysis that you always get with any of my event coverage. And then of course, after you're subscribed, you can turn on your reminder as I've done here. You see my reminder has been on now since yesterday, and you will get your reminder of when they are live. I checked out their link to last year's Mammoth Strength Competition 4. It was 6 hours and 40 minutes of coverage. The video's still out there on YouTube, and it's free. Amazing, amazing. You guys need to subscribe and check it out now. So, on to the main event. What are the events going to be? So, let me switch back to David Waters and John Greaves III talking about what those events will be, and it's all in the description underneath the video. So, if we scroll down here and then just show more on the description, you will see a breakdown. So we have the amateur events, and I'll just skip over to the pros, which are these right here. So let me just talk through these a little bit, because some of them are like not quite in the order that David discussed them, and some of them, the weights are slightly different than what he discusses in the video. So I will go ahead and assume the weights are what's written in the description, because maybe some of them had to be adjusted and they came back and fixed them later in the description. You can't really fix video on YouTube unless you take it down, edit it, and put it back up. So let's go with the description is the right sort of weights for the events. Now, so he talks about there being basically 5 total events, which sounds normal for strongmen. 5, 6 for the Shaw Classic, World's Strongest Man. That sounds about what they usually do. But here's the twist on that. It's not really 5 because they're almost all medleys. So it's actually, David says, 13 disciplines, but he's like jumbled groups of 2, 3, or 4 of them together into each, so that it's 5 total, but it's actually 13. And to give him credit, I counted the list, and for me, it's actually 14 when I count it. So let's go through them and see what they are. So we're starting off with an overhead medley, and you get 60 seconds to complete the whole medley. So what is this medley? Well, we're doing a lot of 1-rep maxes in this contest, which I think is super cool. Some of the other contests do, like World's Strongest Man had log for reps and stuff like that. And although, that is a test of strength, we all want to see the max lifts when we see the strongest people in the world competing against each other, which I mentioned in my intro video to this contest. There are a bunch of them here. So we start off in the overhead medley with a log, 350-pound log for 1 rep. And again, this is the pro men's class. There are novice classes as well, and their weights are different, and there are men and women in those classes. So, overhead medley, 60 seconds, log, 350 pounds for 1 rep. Then you run over, like no break, right? This is 1 medley. You run over to a 350-pound axle. So the axle is the thick bar, and it's usually like a whippy flexible bar.
So thick bar axle for 1 rep press overhead. As mentioned in this video, which you should check out, and I'll mention again to you now, the world record there is Eddie Hall, held by Eddie Hall, 475 pounds. And you may, for those of you who are strongman fans, you will know that the axle press is done differently than a traditional barbell. It's typically, since it's a thicker bar, placed like against the body to get it up. The big joke for strongmen is like they use their power belly, like Eddie Hall, to rest it on there as they kind of manipulate it up. And a lot of them use alternate grips on it for safety purposes. So log for a max rep, run over, axle press for a max rep, run over Mauser block, that's 300 pounds for a max rep, and then run over and do a Viking press of 400 pounds for an AMRAP for the remaining time. So 2 pieces of info there I wanted to delve into a little more for those who are not familiar. One, what the heck is a Mauser block? Maybe not everybody knows. So I went into Mauser Strength Dynamics website, and it seems like they're the creators of the Mauser block, so they describe what it is. And basically, it's a steel box that you need to grip on the sides to lift overhead, and like that's my kind of deal. I like lifting stuff that I find all around my property that may not necessarily be ideal lifting conditions, so I find that really cool. And the way this box is made is it has little feet on it, so it has space for the competitors to get their fingers underneath it to lift it up, and it also protects kind of the integrity of the box so it doesn't get all chewed up and whatnot. And what happens is there's a lid on the box that opens up. They have hidden screws. You open up the lid and you put weight plates inside, and there's kind of spacers in there that keep the weights centered in the middle so they don't jingle around so much. And so it's basically an indestructible steel box that's more difficult to lift than a barbell would be, and is customizable in terms of weight. So I think that's pretty cool. And if you go through the Mauser Strength Dynamics website, they kind of tell you all about it. Plate loads from 120 to 370 pounds using standard plates, and then you can use more weight by other means. I don't know if that means like hanging chains off of it or whatever, but really pretty cool. So check out the MauserPower.com website for more information about what a Mauser block is. The other thing is we talked about an AMRAP, and so here that medley ends with a Viking press of 400 pounds for an AMRAP. And for those of you, again, who are dedicated fans, you'll remember the notorious Viking press in World's Strongest Man 2017, where Eddie Hall outdid Thor and all the controversy that ensued after that. So that's a Viking press. I think at the Mammoth Strength Challenge, the Viking is done facing the press rather than it being behind the head. At least that's what it looked like in Mammoth Strength Challenge 4 Pro-Am that I just saw on YouTube. So we'll see how that plays out. So what is an AMRAP? Well, Google that for you as well. So AMRAP is like a CrossFit terminology that stands for as many reps as possible or as many rounds as possible. So in CrossFit, you could do like a series of 3 or 4 exercises and then go start the whole series all over again. So in that case, it would be as many rounds as possible. But in this case, it's as many reps as possible. So going back to that medley, again, you would do one rep on the log, 1 rep on the axle, 1 rep on the Mauser block, and then run over and do 400-pound Viking press for as many reps as you can in the remaining time. So that's what the AMRAP refers to there. It actually reminded me of Eddie Hall's foray into CrossFit. So you may remember this. It was either Grace or Isabel, where he had to do 30 reps overhead of 1 plate in as fast a time as possible. And then it occurred to me, this isn't really AMRAP. Like I thought it was, but not really, because he's not doing as many reps as possible in a given time period. He's doing as low of a time period as possible. So a little different here. But hey, you know, I kind of tried to get a good example there. It just didn't quite work out. So what are the next events? Well, so with that overhead medley out of the way, we then go into a deadlift medley. So again, they're all medleys, so they end up being like 14 events, which is crazy. And by the way, I did confirm by asking in the comments, this is all being done in 1 day. Get that, 14 events for a competitor in 1 day. So they're really trying to determine who truly is the strongest man or woman in whichever category, with kind of this amount of strength athletics and endurance, they're having them run quite a bit too. So it's really the most rounded kind of thing there is. And it'd be actually pretty interesting. They're doing Highland Games there as well. It'd be pretty interesting to hear what those events are and delve into those in another video, which maybe I'll try to get some more info there. So the deadlift medley, again, is for 60 seconds. They are allowing straps. So it starts off with a traditional 9-inch deadlift. In the video, David, I believe, said 700 pounds, but the description says 800 pounds, so let's go with that. So it's a 1-rep, 800-pound traditional barbell deadlift, then run right over with no rest and do an 18-inch axle deadlift for 900 pounds for 1 rep, and then run right over and deadlift a car so they call that neutral grip. So instead of a deadlift grip like this, it's neutral grip like a log grip. So that would be the car pole deadlift right after that. And so there's your medley. 3 different kinds of deadlift, all in one medley. No discussion about who's better on 18-inch deadlift versus traditional. Like Novikov comes up a lot in this discussion on the internet about, well, he at World's Strongest Man didn't even have his hands all the way around the bar. He relied on the straps. He didn't have to lift it very far at all. And when you make him do a traditional deadlift, he's more around a 400 kg lifter, even though he did 537.5 kgs on the 18-inch axle at World's Strongest Man. That whole thing kind of goes out the window because David Waters and the crew at Mammoth are making them do every kind of deadlift here, whippy bar, solid bar, and neutral grip, so that there's no discussion about who has an advantage in a particular event because you did all of them and you kind of it averages out in the end. So I think that's a really cool and innovative idea. So that's 2 medleys out of the way, and we've done 7 events already in 2 medleys that have been kind of jumbled together in each medley. Then there's a farmer's walk. So they're a little bit out of order here. I'm going to go by how Dave described it in the video. The farmers is what we're used to seeing. Farmers out, frame back, which is what they did at the Shaw Classic. So he's doing 375 pounds per hand in the farmers, which is pretty heavy. That's right up there with all the other competitions that I've seen recently. Shaw, World's Strongest Man, that's kind of heavy as it gets. And then you return back with an 800-pound frame. I think Shaw was 850 or 880, something like that. So it's pretty close to these really heavy. At the Shaw Classic, not everybody could do the frame. So 800 pounds is a lot to handle on a frame. So it's pretty challenging. So 60 seconds, 375 pounds per hand, out with the farmers, 800-pound frame, back again. And it's going to be really interesting when I do my videos on the athlete prep for Mammoth on whether Trey Mitchell is doing any kind of prep that's going to help him out with his woes that he's had with farmer frame at the Shaw Classic and at World's Strongest Man. He's been toward the bottom in that event, even though he's been fantastic in things like the deadlift. So it'd be really interesting to see if he's been working on that and if he can bring a little bit better package in farmers, because if he does, he's top 3 in the world perhaps. So that'll be awesome. So that's 3 medleys out of the way and 9 events. Then we go into a carry medley for 75 seconds. So they're allowing tacky towel and spray. And these events, by the way, I didn't mention the farmers and any of these carry things that I'm going to mention, 50 feet. So the Shaw Classic was 30 feet. World's Strongest Man was 10 meters for farmers, which is about 33 feet. Mammoth is 50 feet. Just imagine how much more challenging that is. Not to mention, this carry medley is 4 laps. They're having them carry a natural stone. It's a natural limestone from Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. It says here 350 pounds. So natural stone should have edges to it and have, an easy way to grip and hold on to it. So they do a lap 50 feet with a 350-pound natural stone, come back with a Mauser block, 350-pound Mauser block, which again I've described earlier as a steel box, right, loaded with plates. Here's an example of a Mauser block. Then they go back a third lap of 50 feet with a Husafell stone, 400 pounds. And for those of you who are not familiar, you can Google it. Husafell stone is kind of made famous by Thor Bjornsson. It's an Icelandic thing. It's kind of a diamond shape sort of stone. Like there's the Husafeld stone from Iceland, and then there is a Husafeld stone that kind of mimics the shape and size, and it's like wider on top and tapered at the bottom sort of shape. So that's what Husafeld refers to, and I think Thor has the world record in that right now, so you may kind of know it from his lifts of the Husafeld. He had Juji Mufu go try it. He did really well, so you'll see examples of that on the internet. So it's out with a natural stone, back with a Mauser block, back with a 400-pound Husafeld stone, all 50 feet each, and the fourth lap coming back with an Atlas stone, so round, slippery, spherical 335-pound Atlas stone. So, like, I don't even know if people can do this. This is a crazy ask, so it'll be very, very interesting when I get to watch this incredible, incredible contest. So, we were up to 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 13 events now. And then they have an arm-over-arm truck pull to end it all off. It's an 18,000-pound truck. And you might think to yourself, well, 18,000 pounds is doable. Like I've heard of strongmen pulling planes before and heavier trucks than that. Here's the twist. So Dave keeps throwing twists at us. Here's the twist. It's in dirt. It's not like on a smooth road or like asphalt or concrete. They're pulling it in dirt. So how hard is that? Like, that's crazy. So there's your event breakdown. I told you you'd be super excited. I told you you wouldn't be able to resist scheduling the live stream reminder for yourself when you saw this list of events, which is crazier, more encompassing, and more ambitious than any contest I've seen in recent memory or in any memory. You definitely got to go check it out. So again, let's summarize it and then I'll let you go so I can go make another great video for you. Overhead medley, 1 rep log, 1 rep axle, 1 rep Mauser, and a Viking press for as many reps as possible in 60 seconds. Moving into a deadlift medley that has a traditional 800-pound deadlift. Moving into an 18-inch axle lift for 900 pounds for 1 rep. Moving into a car deadlift neutral grip for as many reps as possible, all in 60 seconds. Moving into a farmer's 375 pounds per hand, 50 feet out. Frame 800 pounds, 50 feet back. Moving into a carry medley that all needs to be done in 75 seconds. Natural stone, 350 pounds out. Mauser block, 350 pounds back. Husafeld stone, 400 pounds out. Atlas stone, 335 pounds back. And ending up with an arm-over-arm truck pull. Are you as excited as I am? Don't answer that, I know you are. Thanks for joining me again on my blog, Strongest Man, where we broke down all of the events at the Mammoth Strength Pro-Am 5, and next time I'll come back and tell you all about the record breakers that they're also doing at that contest. Thanks for joining me on my blog, Strongest Man. Subscribe now if you haven't yet. I need 1K by New Year's Day, and of course, until next time, ciao, homie. So if you like this video and want to learn more about any of the products I described during this video, make sure to check out the links in the description below.